Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Pablo Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the news, traditional rulers in the Indian Division, Southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon urged their children carrying guns in the bushes to come out of the bushes and return to the normal life trend because, in their opinion, the solution to their problems is here with the regional elections, the election of members of the regional assemblies for the two English-speaking regions of the country and the members of the House of Chiefs. And of course, they think that this election has brought solutions to the problems of the people. We'll hear them in this newscast. And out of the country, Ghanaians are looking forward to a new president at the helm of the country. They went voting today in a tightly contested general elections, for a new president of the country and also members of parliament. Thanks, dear viewers, for joining us on this edition of the news. We are going to begin right away with a declaration by traditional rulers of the Indian Division in the Southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, and they adding their voices to those of the head of state, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Territorial Administration, and other government members and elites, calling on civilians carrying guns in the two English-speaking regions of the country within the context of the 4-year-long armed conflict to drop the guns, come out of the bushes, and return to the normal life trend so that peace and normalcy can return to those two regions. According to the traditional rulers, the people have the solutions to their problems with the regional elections that took place yesterday. Details with Derek Jato. Derek Jato with that report from the Southwest region of the country on the declaration of traditional rulers of the Indian Division, who were speaking after yesterday's first ever regional elections in the Republic of Cameroon, the election of members of the Houses of Assembly in the two English-speaking regions of the country and the regional councils in the other 8 regions, and the election of members of the House of Chiefs in the two English-speaking regions of the country that have been in crisis for close to more than 4 years today, with several persons killed, several persons displaced in hundreds of thousands, and a lot of material destruction recorded in the two English-speaking regions of the country. And authorities, as well as some elites, have been urging the young people, the civilians who are carrying guns, calling themselves pro-independence fighters or separatist fighters in the two English-speaking regions of the country, to drop their guns so that peace and normalcy can return. And now the traditional rulers of the Indian Division are saying that the solution to the problems that cause them to carry guns and go into the bushes and start fighting has come with the regional elections, the elections that will be followed by the putting in place of regional assemblies and, of course, the House of Chiefs in the two English-speaking regions of the country. Derek Jato has more.
Others might define casting their vote as merely performing their civic duty. But to these chiefs of Indian Division, it is fulfilling a dream.
I'm so delighted to welcome my peers for this special exercise. In fact, it was our dream as traditional rulers.
It has taken Cameroon 24 years to get here with the decentralization institutions, and today critics say the nation is paying the price for this delay in blood. To many, if there was effective decentralization, There might not have even been anything like the bloody war in the Anglophone regions. With the participation rate of 95.14%, these traditional rulers of Njan division voted as a show of mending the broken pieces of their people and to support their peer, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute, Cameroon Prime Minister and Head of Government, and the traditional ruler of Mbongongo 1, a village in the Kondo-Titi subdivision, here in Njan division, who championed the major national dialogue, and today the nation has witnessed the maiden edition of the regional elections, fruit of this major national dialogue. And now that powers will be given to these chiefs to be drivers of their own development. The Indian traditional rulers are begging on their children, still holding guns in the bushes, to come home, for they now have answers to their questions.
We are encouraging those our people, those our boys who are in the bushes, that they should drop their arms and come back to the villages. We are going to build them up and make them useful in our community.
December seat has come and gone. The election took place, and today the results are known. But pundits say that is not even important to the people who have been reduced to nothing by the Anglophone crisis. For what everyone wants to see is the practical face of the preached change.
And the first ever regional elections in the Republic of Cameroon took place in an atmosphere of ghost town being enforced by pro-independence fighters in the two English-speaking regions of the country. In the town of Kumba, the streets were simply deserted, and even today it was a similar atmosphere that prevailed in the town of Kumba, Meme Division, southwest region of Cameroon. Immaculate Fogwe.
Business centers, streets, markets, and other public spaces remain deserted in the northwest and southwest regions. Augusta Town is the atmosphere that hosted the 6th of December Pioneer Regional Election in the town of Kumba, Meme Division, southwest region of Cameroon. Government security assurance did not instigate the population to turn out massively so as to witness the holding of the Pioneer Regional Election in Cameroon. The ghost town went operational on Friday, December 4th and will end on Monday, December 7th. Operation Ghost Town, imposed by separatist leaders, was meant to counter the holding of the December 6th regional election in the northwest and southwest regions. Few persons in the town of Kumba took advantage of the day to carry out road construction work so as to ease mobility.
Immaculate Fogwe reporting there. And in the Fako division, still in the southwest region of the country, correspondent Davison Maimo says regional councillors are already lobbying for different positions in the regional assembly after the election that took place yesterday. His report.
It was a serene atmosphere across Fako division, though business places were shut down, including transportation, coupled with a call for ghost town by separatists following the first ever elections of regional council and regional house of chiefs in the history of Cameroon. At Government High School Limbe polling station, headquarters of Fako division, security was tight, with every security unit deployed, including the use of drones by the Marine commandos from Esongo.
The population is determined to overcome the fear, to overcome the threat. And we must encourage those the population and congratulate their leaders who are the councillors and the traditional rulers.
The electors, made up of municipal councillors from all 7 councils and chiefs in Fako division, turned out in their numbers to perform their civic responsibility.
Don't do what you are get for do like any other Cameroonian. When it's the massive right for vote for this today.
The participation is wonderful. We have 41 councillors and all have come, they have voted.
I'm happy to be part of the people who voted the first ever regional councillors.
Elecam officials say The exercise was carried out hitch-free.
Even though it is one political party, we have also ensured that all the values of a transparent and democratic elections are respected.
With just the ruling CPDM party list in Fako division, the party top brass accompanied the electors to be part of the victory.
The region, the division, all of us, we have spoken. This is a basket of flowers that we are sending to the head of state.
We feel satisfied and we are gratified. The councillors we have been cutting around for 2 weeks now have responded so well.
With those represent Fako division at the regional council, regional house of chiefs already known, the game is taking another political twist, as some aspirants for positions in both houses are already knocking at the doors of political godfathers, while others are mobilizing funds for an effective execution of Cameroon's unique style of politics when time comes. Davidson Maimo, in Limbe, Fako division, Southwest region, for Équinoxe TV.
Now to the northern regions of the Republic of Cameroon, a traditional ruler of about 60 years old is reported to have died after voting in the Garwa. Meanwhile, in Marwa and Ngaoundéré, no major incident was recorded during the regional elections yesterday. Smanjikan Gebre reports.
Councillors and traditional rulers involved in the regional elections in the Grand North were all present at their various polling stations in the early hours of the day. In Garwa, chief town of the North region, Governor Jean Abate Edi was out as early as 7 a.m. to supervise the elections that were taking place at College Modern in Benue. If other Lamidos in the likes of Alim Ayatu cast their vote without any problem, the disturbing news in Garwa was the alleged death of one of the Lamidos who, after voting, collapsed in the voting hall. In Ngaoundéré, a majority of the Lamidos came in on a hired coaster bus. The respect of the barrier measures against corona was also visible, with hand washing, checking of temperature with the thermoflash, and the obligatory putting on of face mask. Even Lamidos who can't walk because of their ill health were also spotted in the polling stations to cast their vote for the first ever regional elections.
Now we are happy to note that everything is set and all the electors from the councillors or from the chiefs are present. They are accomplishing their civil rights without hindrance, and we do have that this very important processes will complete all the processes of decentralization.
In Marwa, Governor Mijiyawa Bakari was also out of his bed very early to supervise the elections in his zone of jurisdiction. No major incident was recorded, according to the governor.
The social distancing and the wearing mask and even the washing one hands is observed in different areas. So far, we have no problem.
But to the Lamidos who came out to participate in this major election, believe it is a step towards getting a better Cameroon. It's history which is about to be made in Cameroon, with traditional rulers also involved in the decision-making of the country. Apart from Garwa, where an incident occurred, the regional election went hitch-free in the northern regions of Cameroon.
Cameroon's Minister of Territorial Administration, Atanganji Paul, speaking after the regional elections yesterday, said the elections unfolded hitch-free across the 10 regions of the country, and it's a major step in the country's advancement in democracy and in the decentralization process. Take a listen to Minister Atanganji Paul.
The Minister of Territorial Administration can say in clear terms that the election of regional councillors took place nationwide in a serene, calm and peaceful atmosphere. No incident likely to cast doubt on the credibility of the polls or the sincerity of the results from the ballot box was recorded. This is an opportunity for the Minister of Territorial Administration to commend once again the irreversible choice of the head of state, His Excellency President Paul Biya, who has always instructed the speeding up of the decentralization process in Cameroon. The Minister of Territorial Administration would also like to sincerely thank the head of state who provided all needed means to all election stakeholders to ensure hitch-free elections today. For this election, the Minister of Territorial Administration granted accreditations to 3,457 observers who freely went nationwide. We are now waiting for their reports. In compliance with the regulations in force, the poll started in the 272 polling stations at 8 p.m. and ended at 6 p.m. Considering the fact that election is held in special context marked by COVID-19 pandemic, elections Cameroon took important precautions in each polling station with respect of barrier measures in compliance with government's health protocol, i.e. taking of temperature, use of hand sanitizers, wearing of face masks, social distancing, and washing of hands. In his capacity as government's agent in the electoral process, the Minister of Territorial Administration and administrative authorities provided optimum security to Elections Cameroon, independent body in charge of the entire electoral process.
Cameroon's Minister of Territorial Administration, Atanganji Paul, speaking there, and political analysts say the failure of the Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation in the Nyong and Kele division is due to the party's lack of political experience. And of course, the party of Cabral Libi, the national president, recorded a very poor performance, or better still, a poor performance simply in the Nyong and Kele division, its political stronghold. Details in this report by Fomi Armstrong Sander.
Having failed to win at least a single seat at the pioneer regional election in Cameroon, some political party leaders in Cameroon say they had other reasons for participating than winning regional assembly seats. Shocked that his political party lost in the Nyong and Kele division of the central region of Cameroon despite having majority of municipal councillors, Cabral Libi says his Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation regressed in the area but learned by participating. Apart from losing in the Nyong and Kele division of the central region, the Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation had a 0 vote in the known division of the west region of Cameroon, where it went in with no municipal councillor. In the Sanaga Maritime division of the Littoral region, the party got 29 votes from its 29 municipal councillors and 0 from municipal councillors of other political parties. The same outcome in the Nkam division of the Littoral region of Cameroon, where the Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation got just the votes of its 25 municipal councillors. The party made progress in the Vuri division of the Littoral region of Cameroon, winning the confidence of 4 additional municipal councillors on the 18 municipal councillors it took to the election. 6 votes with 4 municipal councillors in the Mbere division of the Adama region of Cameroon. The party surprisingly came out with 17 votes in the Mefu and Afamba division, where it had no municipal councillor. Another political party that came out 0 and says it got lessons is the Pius political party of Serge Espoir Matomba, participating mainly in the Littoral region of Cameroon. Serge Espoir Matomba says the 0 score of his Pius political party is normal because they presented candidates in areas where the party had no municipal councillor. Serge Espoir Matumba says they wanted to be part of the solution to the Anglophone crisis and also to better communicate their project to the Cameroonian people. To Serge Espoir Matumba, the party made contacts and hopes to consolidate it for future use. The boycott of the Social Democratic Front, SDF political party, however, did not stop its municipal councillors from voting for the CPTM political party, like the case of the Vuri division, where the ruling party came out with 18 additional votes after the Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation got 22 votes. The failure of the Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation in the Nyongankele division, according to political analyst Louisang Esomba, could be derived from the arrogance of its national president Cabral Libi or the sanctions he meted on his municipal councillors recently. Another political analyst, Njoya Adamus, explains the setbacks of the Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation in the Nyongankele division on the lack of political experience on the part of its national president Cabral Libi. Njoya Adamu says Cabral Libi was busy taking selfies across Cameroon while the CPDM party sent a strategist, Grégoire Ouna, to do formal and informal groundwork for the political party in the Nyongankele division.
Out of the country, Ghanaians went to the polls today to choose the country's next president. Incumbent Nana Akufo-Addo voted in his hometown of Kwebi in the country's general elections, in which voters are picking the next president of the country, but also for the 12 candidates, that is choosing the president among 12 candidates, and they were also voting in the general elections for members of parliament for all the 275 constituencies, and the president's main challenger, former President John Mahama, voted in a bid to regain office. Talking Point is up next. Thank you for joining us in Talking Points. Today, our first guest, Jones Tamfu, is the secretary of Modegna. He's a politician. Thank you for joining us today, Sam.
Thank you, Mr. Babila Jonathan, for giving me this opportunity to come here today again to share our views to see how we contribute to nation building. You know, there are so many things at stake. We have the Anglophone problem, who has been going, and that resulted to a war that has been going on for the past 4 years now, and no concrete solutions are upcoming. So we are expecting that the government should stand up and do something, take some concrete decisions, and be sincere so that they can solve this problem, so that the people can return back to their normal life as before.
To my right, His Majesty Kala Eso Richard is the paramount ruler of Mongo clan in the Mongo division. Fako division of the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan.
Yes.
I'm very happy to join you people in your platform. I'm sincerely thanking you to giving me this opportunity to talk to people for some irregularities that happen in this election.
All right.
I begin with you.
All right. I begin with you, Tamfu Jones, Secretary General of Modegna Political Party. You heard in this newscast traditional rulers in the Indian division calling on their children to come out of the bushes, to stop the fight, to put down the guns, that the solution to their problems has come through the regional elections. What do you think about that?
It's a shame when I hear a traditional ruler say that they are calling on their children to come out of the bushes, drop their guns, and come back to normal life. Are they the ones who send the children to the bushes? What sent those children to the bushes? If you didn't send a child into the bush, do you think that you can call that child from the bush and he or she comes out of the bush? Then you are fooling yourself.
But they think that the solution to the problems which send them to the bushes has come with the regional elections, the putting in place of the regional assemblies and the House of Chiefs.
Mr. Babila Jonathan, these solutions that the government is putting in our faces is categorized as cosmetic solutions, because these solutions are not solutions to the problem. Look, when you have a problem or an illness, before you start taking treatment, you then must go for a diagnosis. You diagnose the problem that you have. From there, you will know which treatment to take. You cannot have malaria and you are taking medicine for HIV/AIDS. That is what is happening. By the time we continue shooting beside the target, we will never get solution to this problem.
Are you saying that the regional elections is not the solution to the problem?
It is not the solution to the problem and will never be the solution to the problem. They organize what they call the national dialogue and call it an inclusive dialogue. Some group of people who said that because they feel cheated, pick guns and go into the bushes and start asking for separation, have their problems and the way they think. The government thinks that the country has to remain one and indivisible. These are two people fighting. The government is fighting to maintain the sovereignty of the nation. The people are fighting to separate because they feel they have been cheated. These are the two people who are supposed to come to the table. The government will tell the separatists, why do you people think that the country should separate? They will tell the government the reason, and the government will instead tell them that look at the reason why this country should remain one and indivisible. And at the end of the day, they will come to a compromise.
All right.
But we have two extremes, Mr. Babila. Let me learn. These people who make it a national dialogue to make the Anglophone problem to look very small. And at the end of the day, the national dialogue came and passed. It is over 1 year now. They said the national dialogue has come to solve the problem.
The regional elections is an outcome or something that is flowing from the national dialogue, which made some recommendations, and there were institutions that had to be put in place, the House of Chiefs, the regional assemblies, and that could only come through the regional elections.
Findings said that the propositions that were made by people, by Anglophones, that were not taken into consideration. Given that maybe before the dialogue held, people had already put documents in their cupboards waiting to publish into the public that there were recommendations from the national dialogue. If at all these recommendations were those that came out of the national dialogue, how come that bilingualism commission was created? We have not heard what they have done so far to kill the crisis. Now we have the regional election that is ongoing. How sure are we that it is going to solve the problem?
The chief thing that is going to solve the problem, His Royal Majesty Kala Isu, paramount ruler of Mongo clan in the southwest region of Cameroon. You were supposed to be part of these elections, but at the end of the day, you were out of the game. What happened?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Jonathan. I cannot really explain to you what happened, because we deposited the document to Elekam. I have the papers are there. The paper which Elekam received our document in the limited time. Unfortunately, Elekam Yaoundé in Cameroon, they published the name. My own name was there. The name was there. Unfortunately.
Your name was on the list.
Yes, up to today that I'm telling you right now. The name is there. Unfortunately, coming to the southwest, it's a surprising that my name was not there. I don't know why.
Was the name replaced?
Yes, the name was replaced by the chief of Mondoni, that is Tico subdivision. The texts are there are clear. Where there is a second class chief, a third class chief cannot stand. Where there is a first class chief, a second class chief cannot stand. It is clear. But how did it come about? It is not a question of, what do they call it, a society. No. The text, the Cameroon text was clear concerning election, regional election. The first class and the second class chief. Where there is a first class chief, a second class chief cannot stand. It is clear. Surprisingly, it has become a matter of society. Why can it be only in Southwest, particularly in Fako division?
Have you had any explanation so far to
There's no explanation.
the disappearance of your name?
I don't know. There's no explanation. There's no explanation. There's no explanation.
All right, you didn't
How can it be an explanation when the text is there? You want to, Mr. Jonathan, can you tell me that? There must be an explanation for that.
All right, you didn't take part. The election as
I took part. I voted.
I mean that you did not take part as a candidate.
I did not take part as a candidate because my name was removed.
You did not
well, I don't know why.
You did not take part as a candidate, but you voted. Your peers in the Indian division are calling on their children to come out of the bushes and drop their guns because they think that the regional elections will bring the solutions to their problems, to the problems that took them to the bushes. What do you think about this?
What I'm
do you
thinking,
hold that opinion?
What I'm thinking about it is so sad to we Cameroonians. We know we have lost a lot of our children, our brothers, our sisters. Mr. Jonathan, it's a pity. We seek a solution for that. We must seek a solution for that. Like what my peer said, people are dying. We must find a solution for that. To beg them to come out and to sit around the table. If there's need, they should say what is in their mind instead of beating about the bush. Please.
Instead of beating about the bush, you should go straight to the point and get the solution.
Get the solution.
In your opinion, that can that be done through the implementation of the new decentralization code with the regional elections and the institutions that will be put in place?
That is our expectation. That is what we expect. We expect. But I cannot give you any assurance. But we expect that by grace of God, through the
House of Chiefs,
the regional assembly, and so on, something can come out. I don't know. I'm seeing my friend is just maybe he has something to say.
Mr. Babila,
His Majesty is expressing hopes and thinking that with the implementation of what is said in the law and the institutions put in place and the institutions going operational, something can come out of it.
There is no hope if the government continue going this way. We should stop fooling ourselves. I just heard somebody say the election passed hitch-free when we have a royal highness who died in the north.
The Minister of Territorial Administration.
And there's another young man, a councillor, who was shot in the northwest. And we don't even know the ones that will be targeted in the days ahead. Because on that day of the elections, because they wanted the elections to hold in the north and the southwest, they carried armor cars, protected the phones to go and vote on the councillors. Then after using the phones and the councillors for selfish political interests, they will abandon them to their own mercy. And the boys will now clamp down on these councillors and the chiefs, if at all they will remain in those regions to stay with their people. I wanted to come to the chiefs. I have never heard a chief tell the government that we have a problem, solve it. Because all those chiefs who are saying that there's hope, deep in their hearts, they know that there's no hope with these proposals of the government. Before this thing will come to an end, Mr. Babila, don't be shocked. We propose, we of Moderna, that there should be no taboo on the discussions of in between the two protagonists. There should be no taboo given that the form of the state, if somebody brings it on the table, it should be welcome and talked about. You cannot, okay, look at our phone here. Our paramount chief who is saying that he put his name on the list. And out of a sudden, because of some reasons yet unknown, his name disappeared. It means that our paramount chief here was not of the party in power, which means that maybe he was suspected to be
a bone to somebody's throat. So they put somebody they can use.
He was going to be a candidate for the House of Chiefs, not for any political party. They're traditional
obviously,
rulers, not for any political party. But earlier you said that some people are using the traditional rulers and the politicians, the councillors, for selfish interests. Why do you think that the regional elections is all about selfish interests?
If it is not selfish interest, Babila, come to think of it, now they think about the traditional rulers because they want them to vote. How many times
the House of Chiefs have to be put in place?
No. How many times did this government call these traditional rulers that come to Yaoundé? You are the traditional rulers of the Northwest and the Southwest. You know what is going on. You know what these children are crying for. Come and tell us exactly what is going on and propose solution to this problem. They were never called.
Recently,
and
the
now
Minister
the
of
government
Territorial Administration brought some of them together, asking them to go
after
back
the national dialogue.
Those who had abandoned their homes.
It means that the national dialogue failed. If not, why is it that after the national dialogue, which was meant to solve the problem, people continue dying and they are yet to assemble chiefs. Chiefs cannot go back to their villages. I know so many chiefs whose palaces were burnt down, have not yet been constructed up to now, and you expect them to go there. I remember there's one chief, I will not mention the village for security reasons, went to his village, immediately he went there that afternoon, he left for another place to go and sleep. The boys visited his palace. If they had called him, they would have slaughtered him. That is what the government... Look, we should stop using people's lives as bait. These chiefs are spiritual people. They have ancestors that back them. They have a culture and tradition to protect. You come and make them to tell lies, and you expect the ancestors to be fine with them. That is why you will see a chief after voting will die. It is uncalled for, it is an abomination.
Mr. Jonathan,
yes,
please, excuse me. One thing I want to remind all of us here is that this regional election, the House of the Chiefs have existed in the Northwest and the Southwest before.
In the former
yes, it's not a new thing today for us. We, the Southerners and Northwest people.
Yeah. It's not a
new thing.
It's not a new thing. It existed when there was federation, and now the word federation has become a taboo. What makes you think that now solutions can come out of that house and solve this problem?
That is why I said some minutes ago that we have hope that maybe something can come out of after this regional house have been built up as it is today. Something will come out of it. Yeah, the regional assembly. Something can come out of it.
Well,
I hope so.
What can be done by those who will be there to ensure that something actually comes out of it?
You see, it's a question of the people who are there. They join their brain together, their mind together to seek a solution. It's not an institution of government institution. If you look at it clearly, it's something which to talk to ourselves. What do we need? What do we find? We look deeply into what concerning our people. What our people deserve to have. So, I think I don't know whether you are getting my point. So, the regional house, it is not a house as National Assembly. So we discuss what concerning people. That is why they call it chiefs.
They should look into the problems of the people, the issues of the respective communities, and bring out the solution.
That's it.
Mr. Babila?
Yes. But do you think that if the chiefs in the House of Chiefs and the councillors in the regional assemblies really focus on the problems of the people, discuss the issues affecting the different communities, and try to find a solution to the different issues raised at the level of social, economic, and cultural aspects of life, something can come out?
Nothing can come out. Is the regional House of Chiefs necessary? No. What has the National Assembly done so far? Who are those in the National Assembly? Are they not the representatives of these very jurisdictions that the chiefs will come from to still sit in this regional House of Chiefs to discuss the things that matter? If the chiefs will discuss the things that matters and propose and give propositions to the government for a problem to be solved, then the National Assembly has no use. The Senate has no use, because ever since this problem started 4 years ago, What has the National Assembly done for this problem to be solved? What we have seen is the CBT parliamentarian leaving the parliament, abandoning those of the opposition, the SDF, in parliament, and they said that nothing of that nature should be discussed in parliament. But why are they then there when if there's a problem in the country and we are unable to discuss it in our National Assembly and pretentiously create a House of Chiefs to say that it is through those House of Chiefs we will discuss. Meanwhile, the government indirectly make the chiefs to be of the ruling party. By giving them salaries.
Indirectly, you said so. All right, and of course, it is said in the law that the regional assemblies will have a certain degree of autonomy to decide on what the people need and how to go about obtaining it, how to go about executing projects, developmental projects within the different municipalities. And this is where we're going to end here. Tamfu Jones, you are the Secretary General of Modegna Political Party. We are wrapping up here.
Yes, if the National Assembly can't give solution to this problem, the Senate, which also have funds as senators, and who English-speaking funds, that means of the Northwest and the Southwest, they couldn't bring solution to this problem. I don't think the House of Chiefs will bring solution. I see this effort made by the government to solve this problem as some sort of sharing of the national cake. That since you have been loyal to us in one way or the other, we give you this seat or this position so that you can eat also and be satisfied. Because they keep saying that we should live together, the Great Policy Commission. It was not a problem of language. It was not a problem of living together, because we still have the Wondo people living in Bamenda. We still have Douala people, Yabasi people living in Bamenda, and nobody has ever been killed because it's an Wondo man or a Bulu man. People, we have the problem of eating together. People feel cheated in the sharing of the national cake. So if they think that by taking a group of people, a handful, to give them what they want and think that they will use them to control the masses, you can fool a people for some time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. The government should call for a genuine dialogue and solve this problem.
Thank you, Tamfu Jones, Secretary General of Modegna Political Party. His Majesty Kala Esu, paramount ruler of Mongo clan in the southwest region of the country, however, does not think that it's a kind of politics of the stomach. The Minister of Secondary Education, Nalova Lyonga, said that time for politics of the stomach has come to an end. It's time to be real in politics and provide solutions to the problems in the society.
Yes, before I go through what you asked me, Mr. Jonathan, what brought me here is that I want that what government implement should be realistic. That's what brought me here. That's my case, first of all. Because you cannot say that where there is a first-class chief, they disqualify a first-class chief, they put a second-class chief. No. Where there is a second-class chief, they disqualify, and who disqualify, nobody knows. Even the law, even a magistrate cannot, must not. Because it's the text that's guiding the election law.
The law should be respected.
The law should be respected.
His Majesty, thank you so much for being with us.
The law should be respected. So I thank you very much to giving me this opportunity to declare it over the air. That should not be repeating himself. This is why maybe my brother is shouting. He's shouting.
Thank you, His Majesty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tamfu Jones, thank you for joining us today. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today. Equinoxe is up next.